Hey, good morning, everybody. One of the most exciting days today. Feel very, very happy standing in front of you. And what I love most is what is happening around me. So if you see what's around, you have some fantastic Tanjore paintings. This place is full of art. And perhaps that's what we're going to be speaking about today. The art of human resources. And who better than to have as our lead speaker for today?
Can please all of the
Dr.
other people
TV
be
Rao.
muted?
So I have the pleasure of introducing TV Rao. Everybody knows him as Dr. TV Rao. So this is Talam Venkateshwara Rao. Everybody knows him that he's done his PhD. He was a professor at IIM Ahmedabad for several years. A little known fact about him is that he also taught at XLRI, and I must mention this because a couple of us in the room are also from XLRI, so I have to say this. More importantly, a little less known fact is the fact that many years ago, Dr. TV Rao did not want to be in the field that he's currently associated with. He wanted to do his PhD in chemistry, and he did his foundation, which is BSc Mathematics and Physics, Chemistry, and Mathematics. The moment he said this, I was feeling very happy because I had done a program in mathematics and I thought I was a loner in this subject. But back to Dr. TV Rao, if you look at anything to do with foundational ideas, then it all goes back to the Ganga, and the Ganga is Dr. TV Rao. Today, I'm really humbled. The very fact that we have the doyen of human resources here to be spending good time with us speaks volumes about his abundance, the way that he really gives. And that is very much part of his DNA. Many of us know that he was the person who founded NHRDN. He is the person today, yes. If NHRDN has over 40 chapters, few international, many in the country, the person who has been that guiding light, the wind in the sails, and the light in the darkness, it is Dr. TV Rao. So I'm going to hand this over to Shrikant Arimanitaya. So come up, Shri. So to introduce Shri, she is a man of many parts. He's an entrepreneur, he's a restaurateur, he is an art aficionado. He's a person who loves to read, write, speak, and on the side, like they also say, he also makes steel. He was head of Ernst & Young, and then he became a business leader, etc., etc. The focus is on GHRC for today.
Thank you. Thank you, Nathan. So, it's got good friends. So, first of all, very warm welcome to GHRC, Global HR Community. Very warm welcome to Vajra Gardens, where we are sitting here. I talk about it a bit. But I'm a little nervous, not conscious that today's meeting actually from Dr. Rao. So, I need to finish it in the next 9 minutes and hand it over to him. I met, first of all, thank you very much, sir. You coming here not only bless the GHRC, but also bless this place, which is very important and special for all of us. So I met Dr. Rao 1995 in person. Before that, I have seen his work. I attended some of his conferences. I don't know whether you remember, sir, you and Dr. Uday Parikh did interview on me for NHRD XLRI fellow program. I was the second batch. It was done in Osmania University campus. Around 600 people applied for that. I think 20 people selected. So he interviewed me. I still remember
Couple of questions he asked me at that time. You remember you were in the interview panel along with Uday Parikh. Yeah. But I could not complete my fellowship because I was in GE. No excuse. Anyway, I could not complete it. Now, today, very important day for GHRC. As Nathan mentioned, um, uh, Dr. Rao will be addressing us on HR and how this kind of community platform we should leverage for our own development and organization development. Can you, it's not working? Sorry. So what I want to do is, I want to just quickly walk you through global HR community. Most of you heard, we have new members joined last week. It will be beneficial for them. So all of us had a chance to build ourselves, and we continue to build ourselves, isn't it? Nobody can say we already developed. It's a journey. So we have gone through the journey. We build teams in our organization from individual contributor. When we become a manager, we build teams. We build functions in HR and business like recruitment functions, combined benefit, a lot of functions we built it. We built geographies like many of us head of HR for India, Southeast Asia, global, and we built organizations. But I don't think we never came together, built a community. Of course, Dr. Rao has built NHRD. Definitely, it's special to all of us. I'm also an active member. But we want to take this community to the next level through global HR community. So what we want to achieve in this global community is what you see in this slide. We are going to focus on three biggest components which makes a community one of the best in the world. The first one is you should have an AA platform or AA-enabled platform. Like Nathan mentioned yesterday in one of our meetings, many of this community today exist. People assemble like an event for this, then they go back. Nothing happens afterwards. Then again, they wait for another event come. It's become an event. So we want a platform where every day morning, like all of us jump into Facebook and LinkedIn and WhatsApp, the first thing, if you are HR professional or people manager, you should go into this platform because it's so exciting for you to learn, grow, and contribute and get connected with each other. So we are building an AA platform, and you will see a lot of functionality we are building in this, which will be very, very appealing for you. The second one is the content. And today, if you look at the best content available in the world is Google and many, many other places, isn't it? There's no depth in content. What is missing today is how do I curate a content for my user journey? I'm today in point A, I want to go in point B. What should we be focusing on? What kind of content is available for me to develop myself in that user journey is what we are focusing on. We are not only have access to best-in-class content through various platforms. One is Elite. We are partnering with Elite. They have 1.5 million contents. They have 1,500 skills and competencies. It's curated based on this. Then we are going to do a lot of research. If you look at GHRC today, there are a lot of white papers Nathan, Ramesh, and myself has written on the relevant areas. We are also going to get a lot of content from EdTech University, Harvard, and many other. I'm crossing my fingers. We are also trying to get a partnership with the Singularity University. Peter Demendis is coming to India. We are hosting first HR conference on exponential organization and future of work with Peter Demendis. So we are trying to reach out as many people as possible. For example, Ramesh have good connect with Dave Uldrich. Dave Uldrich agreed to give some of the content to us on a periodic basis. And you have seen Ramesh interviewing Dave Uldrich on importance of community, GHRC and everything. So content is very important. So one of the asks from all of you, you need to create content. We will help you to create content in terms of white papers, blogs, research. One of the aspirations are maybe you should bless us and help us. We want to hire 25 to 50 PhD students and people who completed PhD. One person already there, BSS Srinivas, is a Dr. Srinivas. He was the adjudicator. No, without touching TV Rao, you cannot do anything in HR. You will hear the stories one by one if I give a mic to you. He has done PhD. He worked in EY. So we need to get people like Srini. After PhD, they forget on research design and how to do empirical based analysis and everything. So we need to get them into our community. We are going to do a lot of research in the content like benchmark studies. And when we do research, our aspiration is not to just publish what we find. We want to collide that into convert into management framework. I was very impressed with the research conducted by Corporate Leadership Council. I don't know how many of you who read it, called CLC. And they have executive board. I don't know. I grew up in HR reading that. So it's a beautiful research. And they collect the data in form of case studies as HR best practice, collate the data into framework and they present it. For example, if you want to do attrition benchmarking, I can show attrition of different companies. What they do, how do you create retention labs? How do you calculate cost of retention versus cost of attrition? And how do you decide optimum attrition or retention point by competency and by individual? How much you can invest? Beyond that, return on investment is not good. Rather, you rehire a person. So these kind of analytics and framework is we want to do it in our GHRC in content format. The next one is the customer. The customer, two types of customers we are looking at. One is public cloud, which all of you are member of that today, and we are growing every day. Then private communities. We already got two signed contracts, others are in pipeline, where companies are going to use our platform to create internal community. Britannia has signed with us. They have 600 managers. They want to get them into community platform called BCom, Britannia Community of Managers. All the functionality, see, they will have it for their 600 managers. And we'll do events in a ring-fenced community. And they also part of the GHRC. We call it a hybrid community. Then Machani, which I'm advising as CHRO, is creating Machani tribes and Machani University in our this one. Now we are doing a lot of consulting and HR outsourcing where we are using this platform. So we have two types of clients, the private communities and public, which all of you are. So when you triangulate this component of AA platform, content and communities, three things are very important. The AA and content, we cannot do it without partnership. I cannot build all the content, or we cannot build all the content. We cannot build all the functionality of AA in our platform. We want partners. We have reached out to best partners available in the world. I don't know how many of you have seen our site. We are working with the Drop on market intelligence. Drop is an AA company. We are working with Elite on learning content. We are working with Amazing Workplace, like Great Place of Work. It's a US firm called Amazing Workplace. They have phenomenal employee engagement AA related. They are partners. So like this, we are getting partners in content and platform functionality. And you will see that's a triangulation, that sector in left side. Then right side is UI. Ramesh is the architect on, we are built this platform in WordPress. Buddy Mentor is a community. And we are doing at any other possibility to use any other technology. We want to have a lot of IP in the platform. And we are also going to roll out the mobile app of this, so it will be more user-friendly for you, like any of the mobile, like WhatsApp or whatever it may be. So their UI is very important. You should feel navigating within the site, downloading, creating simulation, analyzing, everything should be easy for you. We are going to do a lot of tools in that. You want to download a tool, how to calculate attrition. The tool you can download, put the data. You want to know how to do change management. You want templates for change management. You want the templates for calculating. Ramesh and myself is doing a 2 days workshop next week on HR analytics. He published a book. Rao Garu was one of the keynote speaker in that. So we are going to create all the HR measurements. You can put simply the data, it will calculate and tell you. You can simulate it. So a lot of tools. So all this should be friendly in the UI perspective of the technology. Then the bottom line, the content and the community members, we want curated on your research journey, and we want continuous feedback from you. How do we really make it relevant for all of you? So in our community, we have professionals like you in HR, people managers. We don't want HR only to be decided by HR, feature of HR. We want people managers who are the frontline HR managers, and we want their participation. We want universities. We want students, some of the students sitting here, to come to, and vendors, HR vendors, startup. We are also nurturing a lot of HR startups. So all these people need to come together and build a global HR community platform. And the community platform will look like, these are the functionality. It's a functional document we created. Some of the functionality you see today, I'll take two things to explain why we are different. And another important thing is this is a community for the community, by the community. So we are going to build this platform together. So one of the reasons we assembled today, it's a very important day, is we are kicking off voluntary committee today. Ramesh will talk about it. We want volunteers. to come and help us to build this. Through this process, you will learn it. Nothing like doing and learning, isn't it? We can always read an article. So some of the platform we are looking for volunteers, I'll talk about it one or two, then I will hand it over to Dr. TV Rao. First one is profile. So we have written 2 white papers. If you're not ready to read it, one is called a signature white paper, profile. I written a white paper after doing a lot of research. Like each one of you have a signature which is unique to you. But how can we help you to build your unique profile, which you will not find it anywhere else? If I put my profile or Ranjan or Ramesh or TV Rao, you'll find all profiles are very different. The way we come here is very different. I'll take 2 more minutes. Yeah. So how do you build a unique profile of yourselves called signature profile? We have written an article called DNA. DNA is like signature, DNA is unique. So here DNA is called distinct natural ability. All of us are just in natural ability. How do you identify it? What are the tools to identify it? How do you put that in your profile? So the profile, our aspiration is enable the profile. Once you said what is your purpose, what you want to learn, what you want to teach others or contribute, all these things you can use AI, and you will be a template for signature profile. You see what else is I'm missing. I'm missing on a startup experience. I'm missing on global team management experience. I'm missing on cross-functional assignments. So how can I develop that? So all these things comes in the profile. So it is not a simple LinkedIn profile. And our aspiration is this can be used for reskilling, cross-skilling, upskilling, skill taxonomy and ontology. We are taking inventory of experience of the people, purpose, passion. Then it connects people with the same passion. It connects within the community with the same purpose. So another one is purpose. You can see that we are building an AI engine to define each one of your purpose. We are already designed a training program. 2 weeks back, I did a presentation for 1 hour. How do you define your purpose? We are going to do 1-day workshop here, helping people to define their purpose and how do you really execute your purpose? What are the tools and methods available? So another one is, we call it as career and life portfolio. With that, I'll stop it. So we read a lot of articles on this. All of us have innate experience, as I said, and skills. But corporates uses only 10% of our passion, purpose, skills, competencies. You agree? We are suffocated. That's what silos, what does to you. So we want to liberate you. When I left EY January 31st, a lot of people said, Sri, how do you feel? You feel like liberated? I said, absolutely, I feel liberated. There are a lot of restrictions. You cannot do this, you cannot do. Even if I want to go and speak in some place, I have to take permission. If I write something, I have to take my corporate guys need to read my things, whether I can publish it. So we are really not able to. So we want to really liberate our community members to live their full life. We want our community members to bring their life to work. We want our community members move from job to career to purposeful life. That's what we are going to do. For that, we are going to help you to build a life and career portfolio. What you see here is a Vajram, is what I built as a career and life portfolio. I took permission from EY 2 years back when I started. I have a restaurant, passionate of food, passionate about antique. I have an online shop, few other things we'll talk. So from my own experience and our own reading reflected, we create a module called how do you build a life and career portfolio. Then 2 more small advertisement, then I'll stop it here. We are getting one of the speaker, Johnny from US. She is coming, she's one of the entrepreneur with $1 billion business she have. So she reached out to us. We are moderating an internship for family business in US. So parents of family business, their children are coming to India. They are 4th generation, 5th generation, 6th generation. We are doing an internship. Among that, 2 speakers are entrepreneur women. So they want to do a 1-day workshop on entrepreneurship. Johnny have 2-3 ideas, including she's donating $1 million her products for charity. We are going to do a charity drive for her. Then she's ready to do a 1-day workshop on women entrepreneurship. So we want to invite women who have passion in doing something, maybe baking or something. So she will talk about how she went about building that entrepreneur. Not men also required, don't take me wrong, but let's focus on women now and help them to do ideas, and she want to coach them and teach them. So we're going to invite 100 people to go through. Then we are also doing a very first our event, July. Peter Demendis, I don't know how many of you heard about him. Just Google it. Exponential Organization 2.0 is the founder of Singularity University. Exponential organization, not linear. And he has a lot of ventures like XPRIZE, world largest hackathon platform. They do $1 million challenges there. and moonshotplanner.com is on purpose. Abundance 360. All these things, he's the in charge. He's coming to India. We are crossing the fingers. He agreed to partner with us in India, Middle East, Malaysia, and Manila. So if it goes well, Peter is going to do first GHRC one-day conference in Bangalore, Mumbai, and Delhi. Stay tuned. We'll get you access to that. We'll be talking about exponential organization and future of work. He has done amazing work on that. With that, thank you very much. I took a few minutes more. Today, very important, we hear from Dr. Rao. After that, inauguration of our voluntary committee and activities, a lot of roundtables we are going to do it to really take your passion and give it back to you in terms of learning opportunity, like roundtable on recruitment, roundtable on people supply chain man, roundtable on analytics, roundtable on AI in HR. So please volunteer yourself. We'll co-create this roundtable and do a lot of research. Our aspirations are like you did it. In fact, we want to succeed you. Like HRD, the definition of HRD in the world, not only India, Dr. Rao has really give clarity and built that. So we want India to be the headquarters for future HR innovation. India to be the best practices because we are human capital in global. India, like any research coming in the world, CLC or a roundtable of like executive board, that kind of research should come from India. So that's what our aspiration. I'm very sure with your blessings and continued coaching, we can achieve that. With that, hand it over to you, Dr. TV Rao. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. Thank you, Srikanth. Thanks, Ramesh. I want to thank all three of them for the second time for inviting me here and giving me an opportunity to interact with you. No, I'm fine. I think this is so wonderful. Thanks a lot. No, it's okay. You want me to sit? I think better. I feel comfortable with Ken. I can see you all. That's so wonderful. I don't know why you chose this topic, and I'm not very sure how much relevant it is if I have to talk of the way HR. Sorry? HR Day. Oh yeah. Oh, that is the reason why you wanted to. Oh, I didn't realize that. For me, every day is HR. No. But that's fine. I think we need these celebrations to keep remembering. I have written quite a bit about the history of HR, HRD. I always differentiated HR from HRD, but now I don't differentiate because for me, HR is people. There is no differentiation. Uday Parikh and I wrote an article which is fairly known across the globe, from sapling to a forest, about how HRD has developed in India. And I was listening to you and thinking about what I wanted to say. So now the next article should be by some of you, from sapling to a forest to an ocean or to a global, to the globe, because you are such an appropriate term, because HR is everywhere across the globe, and it is not anymore limited to a profession. It's a philosophy, it's a way of life, it is life itself. So I'm not very sure what would interest you. So I will say a few things and then stop there, and we can have a dialogue on this. To talk of anything like a evolution of HR or history of HR or anything of that kind, I think we should start with where we are now. Today, HR has become boundaryless. There are no boundaries on HR. As I mentioned, HR is life. HR is people and it is life. So there is no sector, there is no career, everything. I'm particularly happy that I happen to be here because I think you are, Srikanth, you are a great example of doing everything on earth, including and maintaining a forest here, a great garden collection of all these interesting things, and running a platform. And I didn't realize that in 1995 you were one of those. I'm glad we didn't admit you. Maybe it would have taken, it would have got you stuck with a PhD there.
It's so nice to see such wonderful things. Today, but there are some of you who are looking to understand what about HR as a profession. HR is life, we all understand. HR is a philosophy, way of life, everything it contains. That is the starting point. Even if you look at HR as a profession, its boundaries have phenomenally gone up, particularly post-pandemic. In the olden days, HR used to be for employees, but actually in the name of employees, we were serving employers a lot more. And that is why HR was rarely appreciated, because it was the agenda being implemented, agenda of the employers being implemented by HR professionals under the garb of employeeship and whatever I think. It is not desired. It's not what was. In the textbooks, we all learned HR has meant for motivating employees, performance improvements, and all those things. But ultimately, I think it ends up as compensation, recruitment, and things of that nature. But today, I think HR profession looks at serving all stakeholders post-pandemic. And number one of the stakeholders is the community. You cannot be ignorant of what is happening in the community, which means environment, very important. If there is water shortage, if there are problems like what Bangalore is facing, or some other city is facing, like in Uttarakhand, forests being burnt or animals being, you can't say, I have nothing to do with it. You may not have anything to do with it in the corporate sector where you are working, but you can't be ignorant of what is happening elsewhere in the world, because someday it is going to affect you. So maybe 1% or 0.1% of your thought, time, and actions will have to deal with the community around you, across the globe, and things of that kind. So you have to have. And number two, HR also means health, mental health, physical health, because if the employees are not healthy, then they can't contribute anything. So you, quite unlike in the past, we were focused on appraisals, targets, KPAs, KRAs, etc., etc. But today you have seen the number of seminars that are being held, including by HRD Network, on mental health, maintaining positive mental health and things of that nature. So it means mental health, physical health. So you create gym within the company, do a whole lot of things for your employees. HR also means not merely taking care of the employees, but also their families. Because post-pandemic, you have recognized work from anywhere, work from home, it has become the order of the day. We'll soon see book by a friend of ours, Dr. Chandrasekhar from Indian School of Business on the future of work. And I think Deloitte has done a lot of work on the future of work and future of time. I think the nature of work is changing. We work from anywhere. So if you are working from anywhere, I think then your surroundings have to be taken care of. And pandemic, at least in India, I don't know about the West, but at least in India has shown friends and family members, their health has to be taken care of. I think ultimately there are lots and lots of messages in WhatsApp and everywhere, how friends matter, how family matters. When you are in trouble, they are the ones. So HR can't anymore say, I'm only focusing on my employee who comes from 9 to 5. There is no 9 to 5 now. It can be work from anywhere, anytime, and things like that. So HR's focus has from community, from the neighborhood, to the family, to also, I think, certainly take care of whatever you were pretending to do in the past, employees, their motivation. We have come up with employee experience and a whole lot of terms. I think great place to work, now amazing place to work. I think we are talking about things like that. All these are also agenda of it. But there is another important part of the agenda of HR, which has been there in a very subtle way. Sometimes I think they've used the term HR strategic business partner. I think almost about 20, 25 years ago. And I think he continues to work on that particular thing. Business, those people who are shareholders, owners of business. So HR is for employees, for employers, for stakeholders, for the community, for the family, for the neighborhood. So HR that has become boundaryless. Now this is ideally what it is and what should be and what is going to be. And that's why I'm glad that you have started a platform where I think you are using particularly an important technology, AI, which has brought in quite a bit of revolution in terms of our thinking. I'm so glad because AI, in my understanding, is I think you have written books on it. So you all know, and I'm sure you read his book, which gives quite a bit on the technology and HR and a lot of interesting kind of things. So AI is a collective intelligence based on the memory. So we need something to, without having to forget all that we have learned in the past, something that is available uh, to help people. And since the world is vast, I think I'm very impressed with Srikanth, what you have said. Uh, Anybody, any career, uh, anything that you want to do. So that is why HR has become boundaryless. By chance, if some of you are there who are the old HR professionals who are concerned very much with talent management, there is no denial of the fact that we all have to be concerned with talent management, but talent management in a context means the global. But some of us are sometimes narrowed down. Now you go to a small scale industry, even today, or go to a medium scale industry. Why do they need HR people? They need for recruitment essentially, or labor laws. Okay, and you have to educate them that look, because unfortunately in the last maybe few years, what happened was the government has introduced so many restrictions, although they say it's all liberalized. On one hand, it is liberalized for certain things, but on the other hand, I think you still have to be highly regulated. You have to follow regulations for good, I suppose. So there are small and medium enterprises who take HR people with for the traditional personal management role. You must know labor laws. You should have. So it has a place for those who are interested in that. But for those who have gone up to, let's say, middle level or with some little wiser kind of organizations, they are quite a bit interested in terms of talent management, uh, amazing place to work or great place to work, employee experience, target setting, performance management, change management, mindset changes, and all those kind of things. So you have levels and levels. But I think today, if you ask me what HR should be, I would say it should be boundaryless. It's a way of life. HR is for everyone. HR professionals happen to be just instruments of this. I today call everyone as his or her own HR manager. In fact, when some people introduce me father of HR and other, I'm no father of HR. Everyone is his or her own father or mother of HR. You are your father. You are your mother. You have to take charge of your own development and growth. And ultimately, if you look at, in fact, last night we were talking about spirituality, and I was listening about a few days back in the ICF and Kocharya series of a week that is being celebrated to Marshall Goldsmith, and later on Varun Soni from University of Southern California, and a few others. Every one of them are interestingly saying something. They're saying ultimately, it is every human being who has to take charge of his or her own growth. Even all religions, the spirituality they talk of is saying that you are the God. God is in you. And last night I was saying that if God is in you, if you are the God, you will have respect for yourself. And if you have respect for yourself, then you will also respect your neighbor, respect every human being. No class differences, zero distance. I think that is what. So that is today's HR, if we have to talk of. But let me limit myself. Let me not go to a philosophical level, broader level. Let me limit myself to HR profession, its evolution in some ways, and what are some of the things that we need to do if by chance you happen to be a HR professional carrying the title near that. I don't know what the history has to talk of. I think we have evolved. Now, when I look back, there is one thing which we wrote, Uday Parikh and I wrote, From Sapling to a Forest, starting with 1975, how when we interviewed people, I was at IIM, both Uday and I were at IIM Ahmedabad, Larsen Tobro. In fact, it had a vice president personnel, who was one Professor K.K. Anand. He was a professor at IIM Ahmedabad, but a short period. Later he went there, and when Tarun Sheth came, he was a professor. And he went and joined Unilever, Sun Rivers, so many of these people. So Anand introduced an interesting performance appraisal system in L&T. We started with self-appraisal in late 60s and early 70s. And Denison Pereira, social work person, later he did his psychology and so on. He felt that people are not happy with the appraisal, so he invited Uday and me to look at the appraisal and suggest to them. Then when we talked to people, people raised a whole lot of questions. Why are you talking of appraisal? First of all, I don't even know what I'm expected to do. Can you clarify my job? Can you keep giving me periodically feedback about how well I am doing? Can you listen to me? Can you understand the kind of settings in which I am coming from? That 8 o'clock bus I take to reach L&T, what is happening in my mind and what is happening during my travel that 1 hour to L&T? Doesn't it impact? And the kind of boss I have, doesn't it impact? In other words, all of them said, if you don't make me feel happy at work, you are not likely to guess. And personnel always controlled me rather than helping me to get the best. That is where we said, personnel department cannot do this. Therefore, we create a new function, new department called Human Resource Development Department. This was 1975. And identified about half a dozen systems, which included, I think we have said certainly appraisal, training and development, career planning and development, feedback and coaching, organization development, and also information system, which I think today's AI talks about. That's briefly the beginning of. So for us, HR is a philosophy. It's a value. In fact, if by chance you happen to read this book, Pioneering Human Resource Development, L&T, it's our actual report, L&T report of 1975. You would get it very clearly. It was an integrated HR system meant to help people for building their own role clarity, commitment, competence. We didn't use the term competence. We use it something else in those days. But today, I think competence is the kind of thing that is being used. Competent, and we also talked of culture. HR's job is to create a culture and so on. So whatever evolved between 1975 and today is a struggle for some of us includes beyond besides Uday Parikh and me, a number of others who started seeing HR as a philosophy, HR as a principle, HR is a set of values, and HR is a set of systems meant to promote these values. Systems are tools to make these values and create a culture, ultimately impacts the organizational performance. And ultimately, the organization performs well, the society also gets some benefit. So 1975 to 2020, till the pandemic, you will find phases that have happened. Earlier phases were struggle. People used to ask us, we heard of this HRD, but we don't really understand this. Can you help us implement? That is when I came for a year to Bharat at Movers, the defense sector undertaking, most of you know, and they asked me. In fact, there was a professor by name S.K. Bhattacharya. He told BML was a 17 crore company at the time. He said from 17, you should become 70 to 700 in 5 years. So how do I? He gave them an organizational structure. And organizational structure had lots of roles, group manager planning. We have no group. How do I? So they said HRD is the solution. If you don't have a group, you have to create a group. So Uday Parikh came in and then he gave another consultancy report on HRD. And they said, we don't know how to go about. That's when I joined for a year, helping them to implement. Struggle. Contrast that with State Bank of India. Uday Parikh gave a talk to State Bank of India about what we're trying to do in L&T. The chairman, managing director of State Bank of India, Talwar, Dr. Talwar, after listening to Parikh and the board members, decided that we'll start HR departments in the State Bank of India and all associate banks. This is 75 to 79. You would find many banks have started HRD department, and HRD department didn't know what to do with it because they can't always refer to this. Then we ran at IIM Ahmedabad series of programs on first doing a climate survey. Do an organizational climate survey then that will give you. So it was not starting with the appraisal, it is starting with identifying what people feel about the organization. That is the struggle. Crompton Greaves immediately, I think the moment they heard Noria, KK Noria was marketing, he was in charge of marketing at the time. He agreed with that and then he went ahead and he said, we'll implement. So 75 to 80 is experimenting and so on. 80, I think 83, I went to XLRI. We started, L&D gave a chair to them. We started a center for HR. We did a number of things. We created membership. And that was the time HRD network was born, because the intention was we are not able to disseminate. Many people don't have the right understanding of HRD. How do we do that? So HRD network was formed that way. So if you look at 75 to 80, it was a kind of a struggle, dissemination, experimentation. 80 to 90, it was disseminating all successful experiences. In fact, I still remember one of the articles I wrote at XLRI and later in IMA, published in HRD Network, is the lessons from 14 organizations in India of HRD. What wonderful work they are doing. This included in the private sector, Crompton Greaves, L&T ECC, Construction Group. Now, Construction Group did something very interesting at the time. In spite of all that we have done in L&T, Construction Group used to be L&T ECC, those separate entity. Now they're all merged and so on. They said, again, I think talking to people, they had a series of OD experiences that were going. They said, we don't want to use the term performance appraisal. L&T still uses the term appraisal. Performance planning, analysis, and development. And dealing, this was our recommendation with L&T, dealing rewards from the appraisal. I mean, there is no appraisal, it is only development. Many interesting stories. So 14 organizations I took and then talked about this. These are not the only 14 organizations, there are many organizations. So 80 to 90 is something like an experimenting dissemination, including, I think, HRD Network did a marvelous role. Samara Nair from SAIL. We had SAIL as one of the examples. And public sector, Indian Oil, Mrityunjay Atreya was working with them. We did a lot of interesting work with them. State Bank of India did a lot of interest. So that's 80 to 90. 90 to 2000, 92, liberalization. Then multinationals have entered, started new benchmarks. If somebody is able to do with 3,000, with 300 people, what you are doing with 3,000, why are you having 3,000 people? Big challenge for oil companies, for power companies, for all the companies. So benchmarking, productivity, downsizing, upsizing, all kinds of things happened between 92. So if you look at 95, 96, 97, most of the work was on right sizing corporations. Focus on quality. We have learned a hell of a lot on quality. So 90 to 2000, it is productivity, profits, benchmarking, quality, and all innovations, 5S, all those kind of things happen. 2000 to now, IT came into existence. IT started by 95, I think IT started paying. I think IT is something where you'll find something very interesting. One of the things that happened in IT was hierarchy is not there. It is just about 2 to 3 categories. You start as a programmer, then you become a team leader, then you become a sector leader, something like that. And status doesn't matter. It is your performance, how much your technical know-how and other things. So IT introduces so many other things, including Murthy was the first one to, although in IIM Ahmedabad we started 360 in 1983, 84. As soon as there's a big story, how I planned about it in XLRI, but implemented in IIM Ahmedabad, 360 feedback. Later it became, the term 360 came into existence. Murthy did it on by himself with the board, Narayan Murthy, 1987 or 88. So it became popular. It was there, but it took some time to become popular. So 2000 to practically, I'll put both the decades, including 2008, the crisis and so on. It was largely focused on talent management, etc. And so many other things, employee engagement, great place to work is something that happened. But post-pandemic, I don't need to tell you, you have all experienced the pandemic and what happened in the last 3 to 4 years. That is where I think what I painted today, HR today, boundaryless, job of everyone, cuts across careers, everyone should take care of, is a self-monitored, initiated learning to build your own career. And I'm so happy to hear from you all. One of the things you are trying to promote is there is nothing like one set career. At any point of time, you can shift your career, you can get into something. And I'm happy that you asked me the question and I said I started as a maths graduate. then went on to education. I have been a school teacher, but from school teaching, I went to psychology because somebody told me you're good at psychology. But I must tell you also, if I look at my own life, as I was listening to you, my own life, at IIM Ahmedabad, I've done many things which most people wouldn't know. And this has impacted my own as well as Uday's philosophy. And Uday has been a great teacher for me in terms of learning from him. But there are many others from whom I have learned. In fact, my book on readings in HRD is dedicated to all my colleagues at IIM Ahmedabad. Every single colleague of mine I find as a source of my learning, including the best professor and the worst professor. They are all sources of learning for me. It's nice to know. I think even worst professors survive very well. How did you survive? I had a colleague who said, I'll write one research paper in an international journal. Yeah, that's all I'll do. Nothing more than that. He is respected for his one paper a year, and he will not do anything. And he is not liked so much by other people because he would tease every professor and so on. But it doesn't matter. You have something to learn from him and so on. So I thought entrepreneurship comes very close to what you are saying. And that is how I went to work with McClelland, because in fact, I did an evaluation of the Gujarat entrepreneurial experience, which I was presenting in India International Center, and President happened to be in Delhi. Somebody mentioned about it. He wanted to know how achievement motivation. That is one. Number two, Ravi Mathai, I think is one from whom I have learned a hell of a lot, as much as I have learned from Uday Parikh. He was the first full-time director of IIM Ahmedabad. And when I joined IIM Ahmedabad, he stepped aside as director and he continued as a professor. And there's so much to learn from him. We are three of us started an education group. And the work we have done, we have worked with schools, we worked with colleges, and most importantly, work we have done was with in Rajasthan, which is known as Javaja project. You can go to the internet and put Artisans Alliance Javaja, AAJ. You will find all the products they make. That was initiated sometime in the linking education with rural development. So how do you make education relevant to people in rural areas? How do you change the curricula and so on? Now, I am giving all this to illustrate an important point that you chaps are doing, which is very good, that career has no limits. You can't just say, I mean, it so happens that you are, somebody suggested you go to electronics or you go to mechanical engineering. But today, no mechanical engineer remains as a mechanical engineer. He can become a HR specialist, or he or she can become a logistics manager. In fact, I think some of my own colleagues, children have become great entrepreneurs. I used to teach a course called Formative Years. Besides, I think talent management HR is only maybe 30% of what I had done. In fact, I started my teaching in IIM Ahmedabad on consumer behavior. I used to teach a course on this along with my colleague Sisi Mishra. I created. Now, all this I'm saying not to talk about me, but to say that the life offers you wonderful opportunities to experiment if you are so interested in this. And don't limit yourself by saying that I have done my master's in social work or HR, MBA, therefore I am meant to do only this kind of thing. That's not. I think that is limiting. I think the world is wonderful, phenomenal kind of opportunities. So for me, HR is creating opportunities for yourself, constantly exploring and creating opportunities. I'll stop here. Any questions, any thought, any conversation that you want to make? Because I can go on and on with so many things. So I'll stop. Yeah. Yeah, you want to use the mic? Yeah, you can use this. I'll listen to you. Okay. Hi.
Sir, I have one question. Like, if you look at, we do a lot of things for the organizations, communities. We build so much for employee well-being for the organization, but we are still called as not the revenue generators.
Not revenue generators.
Yeah. We still see that, only the sales people or accounts. So, yeah. So how do you see this,
Is God generating any revenue for anyone? God created all of us. Is he a revenue generator? So why do you have to ask this question?
Constantly telling that, support functions usually are not the revenue generators. It's only the sales people, the other departments who are into directly dealing with the products and services of organizations. So always constantly keep telling,
Speaks more of the person who says it rather than those people who don't. I think people don't have that kind of a mindset. And we are, unfortunately, the truth is, we are consciously or unconsciously biased towards those who are directly generating revenues. That is the sales and marketing people. Number one, we start with that. And those who are visibly controlling them, the finance and other. You even forget the production chaps who matter in terms of the quality. They come only. Why I say this is when I joined IIM in Ahmedabad, even today, the most sought after jobs, of course, today, the consulting companies like Deloitte, EY, and others have changed the pattern. You need a consultant, but in those days, marketing is the most preferred. Rama Bijapurkar, so most of you know Rama, and I mean like that. There are so many people. All those who joined Levers were in marketing, largely in marketing. Manufacturing came. At that time, personal was reasonably good, but over a period of time, personal, today nobody goes for that. So it goes by, I think, at that point of time, in that particular setting, whatever is the trending. Somebody asks you, you are not close to the revenue generator, then why am I here? You ask them, why am I here? What am I doing? First of all, are you convinced? If you don't get right talent, they can't generate revenue. If you don't motivate people, they can't generate revenue. What happens is, please sit down. What happens with HR when control and development, when they are combined, because most HR people control and also develop. Nobody looks at development, they only look at control. Every day, there are a group of people whom you probably unknowingly, unconsciously disappoint, discourage, because you're following rules. Like I think in our leaders in the making, I still remember the interesting example. One of our leaders quoted to say that after I graduated from these top level institutions and joined as a HR officer, one of the members came to ask me for Provident Fund a loan, and he had already taken loan, and I told him, you are not eligible as per that. And he asked me the question, the union leader asked him the question, that is that what you are paid for? All these great institutions you have attended, is this what I have taught you? So help me to solve the problem rather than quoting the rule. Why are you needed to quote the rule? I can just as well, okay? So unconsciously, unknowingly, some of the HR chaps are doing this. You do 100 good things, but you don't do one, you do one bad thing. I think that gets prominently talked about. And that's not linked with, they don't see how it is linked with something else. So it is the nature of the profession, the kind of things that you do, which may be creating this kind of a perception. HR people never went around to say that, look, but today, if I have said to HR, you are also a builder of your stakeholders, which includes your, can you conduct leadership development programs for your board? Why can you? I think you should. You should conduct. You can see things which your CEO cannot see, your MD cannot see, your chairman can't see. Because what are most of the said chairman, CMDs doing? Liaising with the government. They have no time to think of. You as a good recruiter, if you are recruiting people in different countries, you have phenomenal understanding. You're doing something in, let's say in Mexico, doing something in China, something you are doing in Philippines, something in other countries. You have a total understanding of the environment. You see business opportunities. Suppose you can go back to the chairman. So that's why I say, if you think ahead of your CMD, but most people don't do that. That's where the problem comes. So answer to your question is what you do. What you do determines how you are perceived. You probably will have to redefine your role and say that, look, I am going to do this. I think it's a question of creating perceptions. I mean, there is no better time than last 1 month and the next 1 month to see how perceptions create and impact zone 4th outcome. The perceptions, you'll have to create your perceptions. And by creating perceptions, you can't create perceptions without doing something. The outcome also will indicate that, what you have done. Long answer to a question. I think I'll one sentence. We matter. Sorry, as a professor, I have a habit of giving long answers to questions.
Thank you, Dr. Rai. It's so lovely to meet you today in person. My name is Neha,
Madam.
and like you in Northern, I am also one of those people who have done BSc Maths honors. So
Oh,
it was a very rare combination. In fact, my job from an HR dentist to a specialist in compensation and benefits happened because of this combination. The employer who was looking for a person who did a combination of somebody in maths and stats plus HR, and hence I was the only profile. That's how I got it. My question is, Dr. Rai, that you were talking about HR being monthly less now. And I completely understand because as a rewards professional, sometimes I am given budget to really allocate that you have it and distribute. But then I need to really put some kind of logic or a broad guideline or some rationale to really get that space of boundaryless into some kind of a structure or system which will help us achieve our goals or move from a point A to point B, which Ramesh was talking about at the beginning. So can you suggest like what would be the strategy for us within this sphere of being boundaryless to really be successful in this era wherein there is so much of information available at the click of a button, so much, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah, I'll give you a reasoning if that helps you in any way. I think you need to keep questioning yourself. How is this going to relate to the purpose? All organizations are set up with the purpose to serve people, correct? All organizations, everything, including those who manufacture liquor, cigarettes. They say we are serving people. Anybody from cigarette company, liquor company? There's somebody in Bangalore who I think joined about 2-3 years ago. It was on LinkedIn. I was quite amazed. I asked this chap who was working somewhere in UK, in Dubai, in UAE, and left a very good job and then came here to head CHRO of a liquor company. I said, why did you do that? He said, I am doing real service to people, creating entertainment and happiness in the lives of some people. So happiness, ultimately, every organization start with the purpose of servicing people. Any company, infrastructure you take, IT you take, I mean, even you look at IT, it's the service to people. But what happens is in the process of serving people, we all accept it is the customer who is the king, etc., etc. But somewhere profits become most important. And that profit starts expanding. In the profits, for example, somebody says that there are these bonds for elections and you are tempted, I have to get a license and therefore maybe I should come. So you fall prey to that. Or maybe you say it's a strategic thinking. For me, strategy is manipulation anyway. When I say HR is a strategic partner, a manipulation partner, manipulating business. So means become ends. Profit is not the purpose for which you started, but profit is an important thing because without profit you can't serve people. It is just an indicator. But somewhere you have forgotten that it is only an indicator. Now you have seen during pandemic, some companies who have transformed themselves from hotel industry to hospital industry because this is what is necessary. And some top level managers who said, please cut my salary, but don't let these people at the bottom retrench. Okay, this is long term. In terms of what you get is loyalty, you get commitment, you get, even if you don't get loyalty, it doesn't matter if this people leave this. You have service, you're proud, you're happy. You made a difference in service. So if you get your organizations to constantly reflect about the linkage between what you're doing and purpose, you will get an answer to your question that compensation or communicating budget allocation, how much it is required, how much it is linked to service, you will get an answer. I mean, there is no universal answer. You have to get people to think constantly, recollect the purpose, relink the departmental, individual objectives with purpose. That, of course, finance and accounting people find it a little difficult to do it. Not all of them, some of them will find it. But if you have a HR philosophy and if you are largely society oriented, I think just ask one question: how you will make profits? At the end of it, if many people die, not because of you, but in spite of you, what have you done? What is the society in which you want to live? I think we have to keep asking these questions. It doesn't mean that you stop doing allocations, etc. There is a short-term goal, there is a long-term goal. We have to constantly talk. So that is the way. I think it is only thinking that is required. It is a philosophy, it's articulation, it is values that are required. Yeah. I think we can maybe very quickly. I'll now try to give short questions from
So,
the.
There's a request for a short answer. The question is, given the new breed of HR professionals, how do the elements of EI in the bouquet of competences figure?
Emotional intelligence, EI or AI,
Not AI.
AI. EI,
EI.
EI,
Emotional intelligence.
yeah, figure. Emotional intelligence, as long as it is not manipulative intelligence, because you can control your emotions in order to get a particular thing, not really meaning it and so on. The way I think Goldman or others define it is not with any ill intentions, it's all good intentions. It's a very, very critical thing, very important. It's very important in figuring this out. Yeah.
We take one more.
Yeah. You wanted a short answer, Nathan. They wanted a short answer. Yeah.
Give you context, and it's brief from startup world. Last 10 years, you can see the startup world is really flourished from for a lack of startups are there technically. And this is in the street language is happy souls of corporate world. Try to say they are moved into corporate aspirations. That's one aspect. Other side is from a HR role point of view, beautifully captured last 40 years of evolution. After 2020, according to me, the skills are changing. So in this context, one side is startup world, other side is team and the population, right? So this is becoming complex, competitive, and hence business readiness and business survival is the end of the game. And within this, one is the business side, other side the technology, evolution, revolution side. Within these three parameters, where you see the role of HR changing from 2020. And then there's a hybrid model.
Well, I would say you are, in fact, I think I have, about a couple of years ago, I have added a new dimension to HR's role, spiritual thinking, spiritual role. So to answer your question, you have to get people to constantly keep reflecting about the changing world, modify their aspirations. I don't want to say that you give up your aspirations, and be able to tolerate failures, learn from failures, and go ahead with perseverance and so on. I think HR for startups has a totally different role as a coach, as a mentor, as a spiritual guide. And you are not going to, for a startup, start with all labor laws and things at the time. You are going to be more of a sounding board. And for that, you also are keeping your antennas open and constantly learning and helping the entrepreneur to learn. I mean, that is the role. It's a great role. That is why today you find many HR people leaving their jobs and becoming coaches. But their coaching sometimes is limited to what they know. I am a good coach in employee experience. So that is only a small part of it. I think you go beyond that. For gathering experiences, if you respect the talent, every human being is an entrepreneur, can be an entrepreneur. In fact, there are many entrepreneurs who are not a part of the corporate sector, who are on the street. I mean, look at this girl, Divya, who started this Rameshwaram in no time, and she just got challenged by a professor when she was reading about Kentucky Fried Chicken and McDonald's in IIM Ahmedabad. Professor apparently said, that is the story I heard, apparently said that, look, Indians have no brains to be able to do this kind of global change. He said, I'll show it. And she took Kalam's Rameshwaram, and I think she has done a great job. In a short time, I think I'm told the turnover is almost some 5 crores a day or something like that. I don't know. These are all newspaper things. And so I think entrepreneurial, spiritual, entrepreneurial thinking, guide, coach, a good HR professional is a constant learner from all sources, and learner from every human being he or she meets. Don't limit yourself to only your employees or employers. When you are, I think you need to know the word. I would say 50% of the time you must be learning from all external sources. Then later on you can learn how to apply for it. That's what I would say.
Sir,
Role is
maybe
changing.
with your permission, just to clarify, the spiritual, at least the way we understood, sir, is not religion. It's
Yes.
not yoga. It is having a purposeful life. You finding meaning in your life, respecting planet Earth, because we worship Earth, Moon, Sun, and everything. Then the last one is respecting yourself, seeing God in you, as you might mentioned. Then through that, learn to respect others and have compassion. This is what I understood.
Absolutely.
This, sir.
Correct.
Absolutely.
You want me to answer that?
Yeah.
I think spiritual for me, I mean, it's not, I don't want to say it has nothing to do with religion because all religions give you spirit. Okay. But even if you are not religious, Uday Parikh is self-proclaimed atheist. He never believed. But I've seen him go to church when he was working with sisters. Not that he believes in, but he will do that. And with his wife, he will accompany her to all temples and so on. But I think you need to be a good human being. That is the most important. All religions teach. That is what. So it is spirit. It is really the spiritual means evoking the spirit in you, using the positive spirit to other people as well. That is the way I look at it.
I have one question.
Yeah. Oh, right. Oh,
So I'm a consultant. I work for TVRLS. I help clients with their HR and payroll transformation. And one big piece we do is go back to the clients and tell them or define the best practice, right? Today, when we go define the best practice, it's a lot around technology. Hey, implement the right technology or use the right technology at the right step of your process. But apart from that, in terms of your experience over the years or the changes you have seen, if you have to tell, what are the 3 best practices organization can use in the HR space and the HR process that still would make a true impact?
yeah. Number one, I think Ramesh, to quote C.K. Prahlad, C.K. Prahlad always used to say, those who are seeking best practices will always remain number 2, never number 1. So you should talk of the next practice. Okay. Use best, it doesn't mean that we are not promoted best practices. HRD network for 10, 15 years was only promoting best practices. Even today to some extent. Best practices are good learning opportunities. That is the way I look at it. Since you have asked me what are 2, 3 things that you can do, number one, and in fact, I keep saying that HR managers don't have any, I mean, you can't do any HR, you do HR for yourself. Or make everyone his or her own HR manager. This is number one task. You should help. Only thing is, if you are handling thousands and thousands of people, you'll have to work out strategies. So sometimes HR people ask, if everyone becomes HR manager, his or her own HR, what job I have? So your job is to make everyone a better HR manager. That means self-discovery. Keep looking into yourself. I mean, there is so much of agenda that you can create. Having done that, I would certainly think I have found feedback. I think Murthy, so many other people will say, periodic feedback from different sources is a good way. If not different sources, those people who are close to you, who work with you. I think most people are insensitive to the styles, their styles, and the impact of their styles on other people. Okay, in the morning when somebody comes back, the person may be coming with anxiety because he or she doesn't have a good boss to interact with. Whenever the boss is on tour, she's very happy. The boss is here, my God, I don't know what next thing that we don't know. But are you one of those bosses who pleasant to work with, happy to work with, empowered? Are you one of those bosses who at your side, I think other people? So I would say, please keep seeking periodic feedback. I don't want to say always other people are right, I'm not, but I think you gives an opportunity to explain even if you are not right. This is the second thing I would say. Third thing I would say is that I think try to get the term performance for individuals means, I think giving your best, getting your best, and also looking at outcomes. You can't be totally alien to outcomes. Outcomes are of different nature. What is the outcome you want? So I think be sensitive, take charge of your own performance and enable helping people to take charge of their own performance. These are two things I can say. Now that you have asked, I am giving this answer. It's possible. Reflective.
We take a last question. Yeah.
Online is there any
Online. We'll take one take it online and one take. Yeah.
It's expressing gratitude to sir. 13 years ago, when I was in Adani, I was in Adani Knowledge Center in Cambe Resort in Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar. We were having 2-day goal setting seminar. So sir was there. And the first day they gave the exercise that define your organization name. 13 years ago, Adani was not known. Okay. So I defined all dreams achievable, nothing impossible. Okay. That was on the first day. So everybody forgot about that. You wait for the claps later on. Okay. Everybody forgot about that thing first day. Second day when it was closing, then Pranav Adani and the CHR and other people came. Sir was very kind enough. I was just a manager or assistant manager, deputy manager level person. He remembered at the closing time, he called me on the stage and told, why don't you appreciate this employee? So they appreciated me. I got a 5,000 check later on, presented by the CHO. So it is a gratitude of expressing myself, because I have listened to you a number of times on online, but meeting you in person, it is very rare. So when somebody sent this thing, I came over here. And it is not basically a Gnan, but what sir has written the books, one thing I have implemented, achievement motivation. So in that he has written about a story of 2 US ambassadors. So they have some agenda. Okay, they have to do the whatever the role the president tells them. So somebody, the first ambassador was calling for the meeting, nobody was turning up. अरे भाई बिरयानी रखा है, अच्छा सब्जी रखा है, फिर भी nobody is coming up. Okay, बिसिबिलाबाद भी रखा है, nobody is coming up. So that ambassador got transferred. काम नहीं होगा. Next ambassador came, same thing he has to do and he put to the president. तो उसने क्या बोला, मैं बिसिबिलाबाद कर रहा हूँ, रामेश्वरम केव से मैं कुछ अच्छा कुछ आएगा, टिकट मंगवाया. तो people came further. In between lunch, उसने अपना एजेंडा चालू कर. So I found it very good, sir. So I am implementing what he has written in that book. So if I tell something, HR tells something that ये करना है, why should I do? You are telling, that's your problem. I go to the other side. I become the second ambassador, and I try to implement the things through his way. I'll get the things implemented. So another last one thing. HR, I would like to say the simple in 2 sentences. Telugu movie, Kushi. खुशी नु कनपड़ते खुशी नु विनपड़ते मतलब खुशी मीन्स मतलब हैप्पीनेस. आपको देखते हैप्पीनेस आए वो अच्छा है, आपका आवाज सुन के उसको अच्छा लगे वो अच्छा है. कितना हम लोग सच्चाई में वो बिलीव करते हैं सब कुछ. सर थैंक यू.
Oh, thank you. What is this? Sweets from Adani. Please,
This time it will not take 13 years. I will be meeting you.
all the best.
We'll meet. Thank you.
Last question online.
Okay, this is the last question. This comes from Nandan Bhatia. Says, Professor, you touched upon health and happiness in the workplace. What are your views about HR contribution and responsibility that they can deliver to make a difference?
Make a difference.
Make a difference.
Health and happiness.
To the families.
Yeah. They can make a difference by creating more health and more happiness.
Nandan, I hope you heard that. Thank you.
Yeah. Health and happiness, that's true. If people are happy, you make them happy. And see, you can't be happy and healthy unless you have at the end of the day, I made a difference. So every day, the person should feel that I made some difference. The HR job is to make the person feel his or her contributions are making a difference. That's a long way to go. That's where your spiritual function comes. You have to work with the spirit of individuals. I think for the gentleman who asked the question, spirit of individuals. That is where I think sometimes HR systems, these spirit people, HR systems overemphasis on systems because you're following means and forgetting ends. So we have to constantly review and renew whatever systems you are using. Yeah, the performance appraisal or even a raising place to work, whatever you do, after some time, it becomes routinized, it's taken for granted, and it becomes dysfunctional part of life. So we have to keep on, I think, it is like, I think every day you go to gym and you don't say that now I'm fit, now tomorrow I'll stop going to the gym. I think you have to keep on doing it. That is what I say, continuously, for the benefit of that gentleman who asked that question. Okay, anything else? I think you have had quite a interesting chat. Thanks a lot for all this time.
Sir, I don't know, this is, all of you know, banyan tree. So after listening to you, I thought,
It should find its place there.
no,
Yeah.
say no, no, I have a lot of stocks, sir. So I will just, like all of us get into, immediately into chatbot, chat GPT and everything. So after listening to, I know banyan tree have a lot of significance. So I just Googled it, and also looked at chat GPT. 4 things came. So I thought I need to call it out, and a token of appreciation and love, I want to hand it over to you. Of course, I'll clean it and give it to you, sir. But the first one, it says, it talks for longevity and immortality. So I said, ever since I started my career, I've been watching him, listening to him, seeing him. We wish on behalf of GHRC and everybody assembled it here, we want to wish you long life, healthy life, and happy life by giving this.
Thank you.
Second one, it symbolizes shelter and protection, as you know, under the store. So all of us under your shelter and protection, we grow and will continue to grow. The third one is, it's a wisdom and knowledge, isn't it? So it represents wisdom and knowledge. Your wisdom and knowledge on HR and various topics is amazing. You continue to inspire us. Thank you very much for that. Last one, it shows growth and strength. So the GHRC logo is also continue to grow its member and make each member strong in their areas of contribution. So as a token of appreciation, I know it's light in weight but heavy in sentiments. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
There is
Yeah,
an
thank you.
important part of banyan tree,
Yeah.
which you mentioned. Normally it is said under the banyan tree, other trees don't
No,
grow.
don't worry.
No, but you said something very interesting. Makes others to grow. So we need to create new banyan trees which inspire other people to grow and make more banyan trees rather than. So you said it without your realizing it. So I like that.
Thank you.
That banyan tree which enables other people to grow. I think all professors, all those who write books are doing the same thing. Thank you. Is that? Thanks a lot once again. Thank you. Thank you.
Sit there.
So after Virat Kohli's batting, if I have to come and bat, I think it's very, very difficult, right? After the doyen of Indian HR, stepping into his shoes is very difficult, but I have some duties to perform. So thank you so much for having taken us through the journey from the 1980s or 70s to today. I don't know if you remember, I had the privilege of being part of the committee at ITI, Indian Telephone Industries, where you and Dr. Uday Parekh came over in 1989 to conduct OD intervention for us, where we introduced HRD and performance management with your guidance. I had the opportunity to work with you and Dr. Parekh for about 6 months, traveling across the country. So nostalgic memories. And thank you for having taken us through the journey of how HR has evolved from 1975 till today. And I think these are pearls of wisdom coming from none other than the father of modern Indian HR. I will give you a quick update of what's happening at the global HR community. First of all, thank you so much. It's so gratifying to see so many of you all come on a Saturday afternoon, braving Bangalore traffic. Huh? What happened? So as I said, thank you for braving the Bangalore traffic and of course coming on a Saturday afternoon, spending time with us. And you've got 45 plus members online, and it's so gratifying to see this. So a quick update of all of you are members of this. So a quick update, where are we today? We've got 525 members plus. As I speak, I believe a couple of more people are joining us today, and we are growing incrementally. And as Dr. Rao said, we would really like to grow it into a global organizations. We have about 16 roundtables or groups that we have set. Like we've got the digital HR, the analytics, the HR service providers, the women young, and a whole of other groups that have been formed. I encourage all of you all to become active members of the group and start your discussions on areas of interest that interests the group. We have got about 18 forums, 36 discussions, 300 plus articles have been curated. Some of them written like from thought leaders like Sri Nathan. I'm also happy to share with you Dr. Dave Ulrich, the father of global HR, has agreed to contribute every quarter a paper to us. And whenever he comes to India, we'll try and bring him to come and address the global HR community. We have got also a directory which gives opportunity for the service providers to list their services. I'm very happy to share we've got 20 organizations who are listed themselves, and a couple of individual listings, and one of them is here. Sri Vidya is also over here. I encourage individual trainers, coaches, consultants to list themselves. We also have got the academy, which is the Global HR Academy, which we have curated 25 courses from within the academy. And as Sri has already said, we have tied up with Elite Learning Services and have 150,000 courses as part of the upskilling program, covering about 1,800 skills and 2,400 job roles. I encourage all of you to make the best use of it. And it's a AI-based platform where, based on your user journey, based on the role that you're playing, the system will recommend what type of courses you should take, what type of content you should consume, and what type of articles and others you should read to help you upskill yourself. We also got the job boards. 120 jobs have been listed as of yesterday. Some of you all who are interested in a career progression can look at some of the opportunities. We have a marketplace. We have listed 134 digital HR products, ebooks and others, which if people are interested can download it. And I think it's priced 29 rupees, Sinchana? Sinchana, 29 rupees? Marketplace? 29 rupees for just downloading an ebook. And then we have got 52 plus events listed both locally and globally. If any one of you all got any events, please you can share it with us. We can publish it and list it on our at no cost. We strongly believe that this community, to be vibrant, has to be engaged, very engaging, right? So we have got weekly webinars, not planned but organized so far. Every Friday we have a new member orientation program organized at 7 o'clock every Friday for all the newly members. That does not prevent others also to join. This helps you in terms of getting oriented to the platform to understand what GHRC is all about, and also how do you navigate and use the platform to the fullest use. Plus, of course, every month we have got a webinar plan, couple of webinars planned, training program plan, as well as a talk show plan, so that we ensure that every week we have something to look forward from the community. So far, as you see, we have organized an HR Analytics webinar, which was conducted by myself. We had a webinar conducted by Shrikant on the purpose. We had a coaching webinar from the ICF Delhi chapter. Then we had talk shows from Indie Village, And just yesterday, I finished a talk show with Arogya, which will be published next week. We encourage that we do not want this to be dominated just by a few individuals. We would like to showcase all the members who have got some talent, who have got some interest, some expertise to come and share it with us so that it truly becomes an inclusive community. As I said, we've got opportunities as part of our engagement for members to join the GHRC volunteers, which is what we're going to install it today. And we'll share with you the various committees and the volunteers who have come forward to volunteer. We encourage all of you to contribute articles, research, white papers, case studies. And as I said, again, you do not want it to be just a few of us, but all of you all can contribute. Monthly members meet. This is the second one we're doing. It will be hybrid, but we encourage people living in Bangalore to come physically because I think networking is at its best when it is physical, right? We also have a Newsly week letter which is being published. I hope you're able to see that to give an idea of what's around up, what's happening for the week. We are introducing a member every day, right? Our team is working hard to introduce a member every day. And we're also celebrating members' success. When someone has done something outstanding, we are encouraging them and then publishing and celebrating their success in open. Some of our future plans, we are organizing an HR analytics workshop. It's happening next Friday and Saturday, that's 24th and 25th. Those of you all interested in pursuing in this space, I encourage you all to become a participant. There's a small fee for that. We are coming up with a webinar on storytelling by Mr. Nathan. As Sri has already shared, we are coming up with a women's entrepreneurs program. We have Johnny from US coming. And there's something very interesting for the ladies, free lipsticks, right? They are one of the leading cosmetic company in the world, and they want to come and promote it in India, and they're giving us the goodies in terms of lipsticks for all the women. We are also working with Peter Demendis, as she shared, where we are going to organize a program or a conference called Future is Now, Decoding the Future by Peter Demendis. We are scheduling it somewhere in the first week of July. We'll share more details of it probably in the week to come. Dr. Rob, as you said, we are now thinking of organizing the next practices in people management competition. I know there is a conflict of interest. Somebody said I'm an NHRD, which organizes best practices. But as he said, I also strongly believe as a best practice number 2, we now need to look forward, and we're planning to come up with a next practice competition globally. And more details of it we'll share with you in time to come. We plan to organize this somewhere around August or September. And we encourage everyone, whether you're a corporate professional, whether you're a startup, whether you're an academician, whether you're a student, to please participate in this and share what you think is the next practices in people management. And we have many more events which we have planned as we go forward. In terms of platform updates, we are continuously updating it. As Sri said, our platform is built using WordPress. I do not know whether you're aware, 43% of the websites worldwide are built on WordPress. And you name it, White House is on WordPress, right? All the news magazines, whether it's New York Times, whether it is Meta, whether it is Microsoft, they're all on WordPress. And on the WordPress, using WordPress, we have a global HR community built using what is known as the BuddyBus platform, which is the world's #1 community platform. And again, here we are in the August company of MIT, of Stanford, and others who are using BuddyBus platform for the community purposes. So some of the latest updates, we have the payment gateway for domestic transaction integrated with Razorpay. Unfortunately, we still haven't got permission for international payment because of RBI regulations. We have applied for it. We expect the approval. Once it comes, we'll have PayPal and Stripe integrated into it so that we can start accepting foreign remittances, right? I'm glad to share with you, last week we have implemented what is called as a personalized feed. As she was saying, AI-based recommendation engine based on your profile, based on your activity on the portal based on your browsing history, based on whom you're connected with, whom you're following, and what you liked in the past. The feed will be fed to you. So if you all see this, what you see on your screen may not be the same what your neighbor sees, provided of course you've been active, and provided of course more and more people start. Today probably there are only 3 or 4 very active people. When more and more people start contributing and become active, the feed will get even more better, and you'll get personalized content based on your interests, right? We've also got another feature which has been implemented called schedule your posts, right? Some of you all may wonder that, I have a lot of ideas, but then if I post everything on a single day, it becomes stale, right? So now you have an option where whenever you find time, you can post and then schedule it whenever you want it to be published. What time of the day, which day you want, you can schedule it so that every day you will see some of your posts coming up, but actually you would have done it on a single day. So the scheduling is something which is a very interesting feature so that you don't clutter, and at the same time you make your visibility seen throughout whenever you want it, right? Most important thing, a lot of people have, there have been diverse opinions. Some have said you're cluttering and spamming my mails, right? And some have said I don't get any notifications. I do not know you're aware that there is an option for you as an individual to go and configure your notifications, what you want to see, whether you want it to be in the form of mails or only see it on the website, which part of it you want to get the feed. All those things are configurable. If you have any doubt, you can attend the Friday workshops or Friday orientation program, but the control is with you to see what you want to see, what you want to get either as a mail or on the website, so that it will not spam your mails, right? In terms of future, we are implementing an AI chatbot with a help desk and an FAQ. I think in a couple of weeks, it should be online so that the support system will be very strong for all the members. We are also now, as I said, International Gateway, we're expecting more AI integrated tools will be incorporated in the weeks to come. You'll see a lot more AI integrated tools. And then of course, polls and quizzes is something which is missing at this point of time. We want to add polls and quizzes also into the portal so that anyone and everybody can start using it for some polling or surveys or whatever it may be. Before I go to the next questions, any questions? Any feedback, any questions? Okay. As I said, I strongly believe that as an individual, I can only move a few stones and maybe a rock. But as a group, as a community, you can move mountains, right? So this community cannot be built just by a few individuals. This has to be done in collaboration with people, in partnership and as a community. So we have built some very strategic partnership with organizations, starting with the elite learning services, whom we are leveraging them, white labeling them. We have a fee to pay for every member who we onboard. We pay a subscription fee to them also, where we've got access to 150,000 courses. We are also partnering with Arogya World for some wellness initiatives. We have got partnership with Amazing Workplace. Very soon you will start seeing some surveys coming out, some customer satisfaction, member satisfaction, member engagement surveys being initiated from the Amazing Workplaces. We have got a partnership with Drop, which is one of the world's leading AI recruitment sourcing platform. We have got partnership with them, of course, partnership with Visara Consulting Services, Human Capital Services, where a whole lot of offers and support are being provided to us. So now we come to the most important part of today's initiative, where we said that we want to declare the committees and the volunteers who have come forward for it. We strongly believe, right, this global HR committee must be of the people, by the people, and for the people. And that can only happen with the collective collaboration of all the members and the support of all the members. And this committee volunteers, what we are implementing, is an opportunity for that, right? So the whole idea of forming these committees, because a lot of people came forward to offer their services and their interests in various areas, the whole objective is to contribute ideas and actively participate, right? How do we bring engagement into the community, and how do we bring some excitement into the community? Collaborate with other members, right? All of us have a lot of vision, a lot of objectives. How do we collectively work to ensure that these objectives are met? And then, of course, to promote GHRC's initial principles and the guidelines. So, we have the first committee, which is on social media. Who is the representative? Who are the representatives? Take the mic. Shubham, give to Ritika. So we have a GHRC representative and the volunteers, right? No,
Yeah.
give it to her. You bring the key. Give it to her. Sir, the initiation of the committee, or you want to sit here? No problem. Ritika, read out who is the GHRC representative for social media.
Yeah, for the social media, it's Sanchana, Ritika, Anish, and Deepika.
Guys, come here. Come. And who are the volunteers?
And volunteers are Narayan Shanoy, Rupesh S. Naidu, Rahul Prabhakar, Raghunandan, Neha Sethi.
Is anybody here? Yeah, come. Sir, if you don't mind. Inauguration of the social media committee. You can hand over the key to. This is the social media committee. We look forward to a very, very exciting social media coverage from this committee. Make the noise. Nexa, is there somebody got a Nexa car? No, not anybody here. So make some noise, the social media committee, and I hope that we will see a lot of noise, right? The content committee, what are members, Ritika?
Yeah, for the content committee, it's Sanchana and Deepika, and then Rupesh S. Naidu.
Sir. So you can sit here, stand here only. Here, come in. Hey, Ritik, go near her. We have the academia committee. Who are the members of? Is Monica Paul here? Sinchana, come here. Come nearby.
A brief interruption here. There is a car KA 1643, and this is kind of blocking the road.
There's somebody there.
So if you could kindly go ahead, thank you.
Nathan, the mic, Nathan.
No, I'm not taking the car.
Right. So then we have the entrepreneurs committee, the startups. Who are the members?
So our co-committee member would be Joe, and then we have Sachin Pradeep, and Monica Paul, Narayan Shanoy, Pallavi, Lakshmi, Rahul Prabhakar, and Neha Sethi.
Yeah. So you can sit there only. You can sit. We have the human capital development or the training and development committee. Who are the members?
So first one would be me, Ritika. Then we have Sachin Pradeep, Priya Nair, Nanda Gopal Pratap, Monica Paul, Rupesh S. Naidu, Pallavi, Raghunandan, and Neha Sethi.
Come, Ritika. She's going to take an apartment next door and serve as a thing. It speaks of our commitment and enthusiasm to support or give back to the community. Then we have the membership committee. If you have to grow from 500 to Srikant's dream of 500,000, we need a committee to help us. And who are the members?
We have Shubha, Raghunandan, and Manoj Kumar.
Is Manoj here? Yeah, so go, Shubha. The membership committee. And for all this, we need money, right? As of now, we're all bootstrapped. We don't believe in borrowing money and doing it. But of course, going forward, we need to raise funds as we have ambitious plans to grow. So we need sponsorship and we need support and volunteers for it. And who are the members who are volunteered? Who are coming with a bag of gold? Read out. Sponsors.
Sponsorship committee is Joe, Rupesh S. Naidu, and Manoj Kumar.
So Joe is going to come with a bag of gold. Sir, you sit, sir. And the committee cannot be vibrant without the students, right? So we have a student committee who's going to help us in terms of Campus Connect. And who are they?
We have Pratik and Rupesh S. Naidu.
Where is Rupesh Naidu? Okay. And of course, to manage the events and give us some suggestions on how to coordinate with all the events, we got the events committee or the program committee.
We have Ritika, Deepika, Rupesh S. Naidu, Sidra, Raghunandan, and Neha Sethi.
There are very few guys volunteering. It's like that. We look forward to some great events. And of course, we cannot, as Srikant said, the triangularization where technology is the key for success. So our technology committee is going to be managed by
Nachiket, Narayan Shanoy, Rahul Prabhakar, and again Neha Sethi.
where is Nachiket? Thank you. And then we need to have some fun, right? It can't be work always. Some bit of fun. So the cultural committee, who's going to help us entertain us and keep us engaged and motivated?
Ritika, Deepika, Monica Paul, Tilak, and Rahul Prabhakar.
Is somebody here? If anybody from the audience wants to volunteer, you can straight away, impromptu. There's no form to be filled, right? Please, impromptu, anyone wants to, please come. Great. A butterfly. So maybe after this event, if somebody else is interested, you can give your names and we'll be more than happy. We need more and more volunteers. As I said, it has to be by the members, of the members, for the members. Then give back to the society through the CSR, right? We have tied up with Indie Village, but we're going to tap a lot more. So we're looking for some social responsibility activities, and the volunteers are
CSR Pratik, Pooja Rao, Nisha Nair, Monica Paul, and Narayan Shanoy.
any volunteers from here? Impromptu? And the last one, right? We're talking about inclusivity, inclusion, diversity, equity. So DEI, who's going to drive that, Ritika?
We have Shubha, Lakshmi, Pooja Rao, Nisha Nair, again another Lakshmi, and then Neha Sethi. You want more women, so anybody who wants to join us?
Srividya,
Nandya.
all women's committee. You should have a guy also in it, yeah?
Need that was a good idea. Right, so,
Right, we should, this nomination is not cast in stone, right? We will keep adding to it. I'm sure that more and more people will join us as we start progressing further. So we envisage that this term will be for 2 years, right? And they would be very active. At least once a month, the committee should meet and be able to help drive the various initiatives and support the community. As I said, it's just not driven by a few of us, but we want the entire community to be active and participated. Having said this, I think it's time that I introduce my team, right? We are about 12 of us now. Where is Srikant and Nathan gone? Yeah. So I'd just like to introduce my team, all my team members, so that you all know this. Come. Come, all of you all. Come, Sri. Call Nathan. So we about 12 members, including the what? What is that? Remove? Tridev triads. Okay. So maybe each one can say a few words about yourself.
Hello everyone. Pratik, myself Pratik. So I'm excited to be a part of this global HR community and looking forward to meet everyone.
Vivek.
Because I will definitely tag you all on the WhatsApp. I'm taking care of the sales and the operations here in GHRC. So next time.
We've all been exposed. Yeah.
Hello everyone, thank you all for being here. First year to say that. And Ritika here, I basically take care of the HR and events part. Yes, that's the one. Thank you. Hi everyone, this is Krishnalika and I was in April here. Now they have made me permanent. Thank you so much. I'm going to meet you all again in any other events. Thank you.
What do you take care of?
My name is Joe Manuel. First of all, thank you very much for your excellent participation and online also we got a very dynamic crowd. Thank you so much. I take care of directory services here in GHRC and love the wonderful team. I hope to see a big, large and humongous team here.
Hi everyone, my name is Anish and I take care of marketing for GHRC. A lot of activities are planned up and hope to see and have their support for a lot of activities planned. Thank you.
They say they also serve only stand and wait. So I'm one of those. My name is Nat. I really enjoy the event.
Hi, my name is Vivek. I'm also part of mobility and I'm from sales all my career, looking after the blue market and the also making it simple to get platform.
So I believe, Shubha, you can have the gift. And I believe Monday is International HR's Day, and to commemorate that, of course, none other than the father of Indian HR. We have a small cake cutting. Before that, we have a small gift also from the global HR community. So this is from our side. The other one was from Srikant. Nathan. We have a small cake. We didn't know the size one, we couldn't get it, but we'll adjust, right? We are a community, we are a family. So we request, we'll ask the members to come, volunteers to come, some women, men, sir. No, you're also in the center, sir. So you're in the center. Yes. Diversity. You should do that. Yeah, you hold, you're give the camera there. No, you stay here, ask somebody to show. Come. Subha, get that tissue paper. Dr. Rao. Since you are on committee, Thank you.